Good morning to the Honorable Ministers of the Council, members of the media, radio listeners via St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM, Tel TV Plus Channel 15, respective radio stations island-wide, and online viewers. I'm Rolika Roach, and welcome to the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, November 8th, 2023. At this time, I would like to invite the Honorable Minister of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment, and Infrastructure to address you. Minister Duran, you have the floor.
Thank you, Rolika. Good morning to you. Good morning, Prime Minister, colleague ministers, members of the media, and a special good morning to the people of St. Martin. I want to say this morning that it is a pleasure to be back. I was out on sick leave for a couple of weeks, and I must say that God is good and everything went well. I would also like to use this opportunity to thank everyone that reached out in one way or another, words of encouragement and all those things. I must say it was really appreciated. Thank you. I have a few updates this morning. I would like to start by updating the public on the L.B. Scott Road. As most of you may know, this road suffered at the hands of Mother Nature a few weeks ago. On Saturday past, it was milled, and I know this brought some inconvenience, especially to those living in the basin. For this, I apologize, but it was an emergency situation, and we had no other choice. The contractor who carried out the works was already busy with another major project, and that was being done at night. Their availability was limited, and as such, the work was carried out during the day instead of in the night, as we always would have done in the past. We could not wait, as the road situation was leading to further traffic congestion. I must say that was definitely the case. Some good news is that the resurfacing is to continue tomorrow evening once weather permits. As such, the stretch of L.B. Scott Road from Mortar Drive to Gladiola Drive will be closed tomorrow evening. The closure is scheduled to commence at 7:30 and conclude at 5 a.m. the following morning. For further details, please see our Facebook page and the government Facebook page as well to follow the details on that work that will be carried out. We also met this week with contractors who are able to carry out road repair work. This was an open invitation so that we could ascertain which companies have the manpower and resources to carry out these works. It is the ministry's intention to continue fixing as much of the damaged road infrastructure as possible. As we put our plans into action, we will send out notifications so that everyone can be prepared. While we always try to minimize the disruption of the traffic, the reality is that sometimes we have to make certain decisions that can cause that. Also, this morning, the staff of the ministry is currently in Dutch Quarter at the emergency homes carrying out the repairs to the road network there as well. In regards to Prince Bernard Bridge, I would like to inform the public that the Prince Bernard Bridge will be closed later this evening. This closure was originally scheduled for October 29th and was rescheduled for today, Wednesday, November 8th, from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. We ask motorists to take note and exercise caution while driving in the area this evening. In regards to ERFPAC, last month we achieved another milestone in the ministry by recording a record high in ERFPAC collection. This goes to show that people are complying and understanding the importance of making these payments. We expect by the end of this year that we would have collected an estimated 9 million guilders. I want to say thank you to those who have done their duty and made these payments. I also want to encourage those who have not made contact with the ministry to get their outstanding amounts payment made so that we can avoid any inconvenience. I also want to especially thank the department. Although undermanned and understaffed with resources, they were able to push forward and do what they had to do. Also, the task force that we introduced earlier this year in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance to collect outstandings. Just to put some context to it, from 2016 to now, the highest income has been 5.9 million guilders. Right now, we're at 7.8 million guilders approximately, and we project within the next 2 months, we might collect a bit over 1 million guilders, so that will put us at a record 9 million guilders for 2023. These numbers to the general public might seem insignificant, but it creates a lot of room in order for government to be able to execute certain projects, and also highlight the importance of collection and just basically compliance where that is concerned. So for that, I want to thank the public and thank the department for the work that they are doing and continue to do. I move on to the concrete hard surfacing program. Last week, we published the tenders for our design and build concrete or hard surfacing program 2023-2024. This project is being realized through our capital expenditure fund, or some would say CapEx. I want to thank the Ministry of Finance and, of course, my colleague, Minister of Finance, Minister Irion, for a job well done in securing these funds. It has been years since we had CapEx available on the budget to allow us to carry out works such as this. This project will see quite a few side roads being repaired, resurfaced, and even being surfaced for the first time. This means that some roads have sections repaired, while others may have the entire road being repaired or surfaced with concrete. The list is currently being finalized. This is also subject to change. Here are a list of some of the roads that will be carried out, that work will be carried out on. Aki Tree Drive, that's all of these roads are in the district of Colbay. Cockspur Tree Road, Fountain Tree Road, Girio Road, that's a K-Bay as well. Manjack Drive, Parallel Road, Rubber Tree Drive, Sandbox Tree Road, Sea Island Cotton Road, Silk Tree Drive. In the Cul-de-sac area, Manila Drive, Cassava Drive, Cocoa Plum Drive, Dollison's Drive, Guava Berry Road, Roses Road, Tania Road, Sakers Gut Lane. In the Lower Princess Quarter, Bastia Road, Dominica Road, Ellis Drive, Bimini Road, Gibbs Drive, Lamberts Drive, Andros Island Drive, Manzalena Steig. In the Upper Princess Quarter area, Dukes Drive, Goldfinch Road, Jumping Chola Cactus Road, Canagita Road, that's in Colbay, sorry, and in Upper Princess Quarter, St. James Road, Star Cactus Drive, Vine Cactus Drive as well. And lastly, we have Orange Grove Road, Well Road, G. Clement de River Road, Montevideo Road, and Nazareth Road. The reason I mention all these roads so that if you hear your road, you know that it has our attention. Also, if there are other roads that are in dire need of repairs, to please contact the ministry so that we can get some attention on that. I know the funds are not limitless, so we're trying our best to deal with roads that have been, affecting the public for quite a while. And the idea behind of this entire project is that if we hard surface these roads that are connected to the main roads mostly, that we can avoid debris from going in the road every time that we have weather, and that it would save us money in the long run as well. So with that being said, thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to any questions members of the media might have.
Thank you, Minister Duran, for your opening remarks. At this time, I would like to invite the Honorable Minister of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport, Dr. Anders Rudolph Samuel, to address you. Please note that Minister Samuel will be leaving after his opening statements. Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Roach. Good morning, and good morning to the media. Good morning to the people of St. Martin. Traditionally, prior to St. Martin's Day, the public schools of St. Martin used to do a school parade. And on Thursday, tomorrow, we will continue with that tradition. We will have a pre-St. Martin's Day school parade taking place tomorrow. We will begin at 8 a.m. in the morning, where the schools will assemble at the auditorium, the St. Martin Grade-Based Sports Auditorium. And at the sport auditorium, we will have some cultural performances by the various schools. After the performances, we will have a parade up the Walter Nisbet Road via the GEB Alley. We will go up Front Street, and at the courthouse, we will then come down and go to the administration building. And there a presentation will be made to the Prime Minister and myself. I would like to also, in regards to the Orania School, give an update as regards to the situation there. On Monday, I was able to receive the approval of the inspection to upgrade the electricity. Now, we were able to get this done so fast because of the work that we were doing all the time in preparation for this to happen. Now that the inspection has been done, we are now on the phase where we contact GEBE and ask GEBE to make the increase in the voltage available for the school. After the voltage is done, the increase of the voltage is done, then we go over to the installation of air conditions at the schools. Simultaneously, we are working on all of these aspects in order to make sure that all the work necessary to get the students back in their classrooms and comfortable that take place. On the 11th of November, we know it is St. Martin's Day. And this year, St. Martin's Day is taking place on the Dutch side of St. Martin. There are various activities on that day, and we will start the celebrations of St. Martin's Day with an official church service at the Roman Catholic Church at 8 a.m. After the church service, we will have the wreath laying ceremony as well as the uniform parades taking place. The wreath laying ceremony will take place at the Bellevue Border Monument, and at 10 a.m. the uniform parade will line up on the Longwall Road and then march to the Walter Nisbet Road, heading to the Jocelyn Ondel Festival Village. And at the village, we will have a drill demonstration, and then we will continue with cultural games. At 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and very important, there will be a St. Martin cultural parade followed by a concert at the Jocelyn Ondel Festival Village later in the evening. One of the things I want to mention is that sometimes we say government doesn't do enough, but I want to say that I have been, able to share out a lot of flags, especially, and I don't see the flags flying. So I am encouraging everyone who have received a flag to raise the flag. It is our flag. It is our day. And I don't think as the Minister of Culture, I have to remind people to observe your own day and to honor your own flag. And those persons who do not have a flag, we all know where the most flags are sold on the island. So I'm encouraging the people of St. Martin to wear the flags and show our, our patriotism to St. Martin. I would like to leave it here at this moment.
Thank you, Minister Samuel, for your opening remarks. Before Minister Samuel departs the meeting, I will allow Bibi Hatshaw of SMN News to pose her one question. Bibi, you have the floor.
Thank you, Rolika. Good morning, ministers. Minister Samuel, with the situation with Orania School, I'm going to ask you a question because I know that the government received insurance money to repair schools and buildings. Can you tell me, Minister, exactly when are we going to see the rebuilding of the Sister Marie Laurent School, Charles Leopold Bell, and the library? When are these projects going to kick off?
The Sister Marie Laurent School, the Charles Leopold Bell School in Colbay, and the Jubilee Library. I have explained more about this in the past. I will explain again. Those three projects are under the NRPB World Bank Trust Fund project. And those three projects are to demolish totally those buildings and rebuild the building new, except to the Charles Leopold Bell, the part of the building that is a monument that will be preserved in that state. Now, speaking with NRPB World Bank during last year and this year, they have indicated that the three projects are slated to start in 2024. Now, I explained this before. I personally is disheartened about it. I don't understand why it should take so long. At the beginning of the year, I have had these conversations, and then I will get the explanation that there are so many little processes and checks and balances that the World Bank Trust Fund, NRPB, must carry out in order to get these projects happen. That is the explanation. It is not one that I am happy about, but it is an NRPB project. All three of them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Samuel, and thank you, Bibi. We now proceed back to the opening statements, and I would like to invite the Honorable Minister of Justice, Anna Richardson, to address you. Minister Richardson, you have the floor.
A pleasant good morning to our Prime Minister, colleague ministers, members of the press, Ms. Roach, Team CoM, ladies and gentlemen tuned in online via radio, and a special good morning, of course, to our senior citizens. This morning, I'd like to provide clarification and insight into a significant decision made by my person as Minister of Justice, specifically the return of responsibility for the police holding cells to the police force of St. Martin. In light of recent claims and concerns that have emerged in our community, I believe it is important to address these points and provide context to ensure transparency and understanding. Point 1. The police cells are the responsibility of the police, and this is a standard within the kingdom and worldwide. I wish to emphasize that the management of police holding cells by the police is not a unique situation for St. Martin. This practice is standard not only within our kingdom, but also globally. Police departments worldwide are entrusted with managing these short-term detention facilities for reasons of efficiency and public safety. Point 2. We have the function book from the police force of Aruba and Curacao, and I can show where this is standard. To support this assertion, we have the function book from the police departments of both Aruba and Curacao, demonstrating that management of police holding cells by the police is widely recognized and an accepted practice within our region. Point 3, ministerial regulation temporarily assigning the police cells to the prison management was a necessary measure at a point in time. It is important to note that the temporary assignment of the police holding cells to the prison management, as seen in Ministerial Regulation number 482-11 MB-JUS, issued by former Minister of Justice Mr. Roland Duncan in 2011, was determined as a necessity due to a unique circumstance at that time. This action aimed to address cell capacity issues and ensure the effective prosecution of serious crime suspects. It was never intended to be a permanent solution. Point 4. As Minister of Justice, I'm addressing a dire staffing situation. The decision to return the management of police holding cells to the police is an urgent response to the current staffing limitations within the Point Blanche Prison and the Miss Lally Center. This move is essential to improve safety and security for both prison personnel and the broader community. Point 5. The function of detainee guard is indeed included in the updated function book for the Ministry of Justice and the Police Force of St. Martin. Claims that the position of detainee guard is missing from the approved function book are factually incorrect. The function book updated by Versant, which is a certified FUA institution or service line here on St. Martin, has included this position, and it is crucial to clarify this to avoid misinformation. Point 6. I am happy to use this platform to announce that I saw to it that a portion of funds from the prison repair has been shifted for repairs at the Phillipsburg police cells. I drafted a letter request to our state secretary, explained the circumstances, and this was approved. The Ministry of Justice received this approval from the state secretary to allocate the funds from prison improvement funds to repair the Phillipsburg cells, and this project will be managed by the National Recovery Project Bureau, or NRPB. Point 7. The decision was not abrupt, and cooperation between management was encouraged. The decision to return the police holding cells to the police is not an abrupt one. We have been speaking about this for quite some time. I would even say years since taking office. However, beginning this year in January, I will give you the update that a representative from KPSM was assigned the responsibility to work with Versant to ensure that the function book was updated with that position. It was done. In March of this year, I held meetings with both the departments and called for cooperation between management of both the police and the prison to facilitate a smooth transition. Unfortunately, it is obvious this cooperation did not materialize as expected, and the leaderships of these two departments would have to explain the reason for this. Point 8. Experienced senior police officers are available to guide younger officers in managing police holding cells. Senior police officers with prior experience, and I say prior experience meaning prior to the ministerial regulation that was signed in 2011, the cells were under the police. There are still police officers within KPSM who are experienced in managing these cells, and they are available to mentor and guide younger officers. No specific certification is required for this function, as it is a standard responsibility for police personnel. In conclusion, it is essential to distinguish between police holding cells and detention facilities, acknowledge the historical context, and understand the urgent need to return police holding cells to police. This decision aligns with international norms, ensures community safety, and addresses staffing challenges within the Point Blanche prison and the Miss Lally Center. As we continue to observe Domestic Violence and Gender-Based Violence Awareness Month, and yesterday's flyer really stood out to me, as it speaks about equality for all. Every agency of the department or department within the Ministry of Justice or our justice chain is important. Each requires the safety and security role and responsibility for this country. To that end, I am asking the police officers of St. Martin to see that their colleagues of the prison is in dire need of returning to the prison, and has simply asked that the police cell management be returned to the police as it was prior to 2011, and as it is done within the rest of the kingdom and the rest of the world. That said, any industrial action due to this decision will be a direct statement to your colleagues that you do not stand in solidarity with their plight, and this cannot be the case. We need to be a united ministry working in the oath that has been taken to serve and protect St. Martin. And with that, I end my opening statements. I'm available for questions.
Thank you, Minister Richardson, for your opening remarks. At this time, I would like to invite the Honorable Prime Minister and Minister of General Affairs, Sylvia Jacobs, to address you. Prime Minister Jacobs, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Rolika. Good morning. Good morning to my colleague ministers, members of the press, and of course to the listening and viewing public of St. Martin and abroad. Of course, a pleasant good morning to the Department of Communications for making this possible with your support staff. With St. Martin Day just around the corner, this broadcast holds a very special place as we gear up for the festivities this weekend. It is time of the year that we celebrate our roots, our unique heritage, and the rich tapestry that defines us. This year's theme, building home, building community, building a nation, can ring true throughout the year, like a beacon of hope calling for the unity of our people, and of course, follows up from our recognition as the unity flag that defines us as one island, one people, one culture. The jollification season, as was mentioned before, is upon us, and it is a call for everyone to come together. Let's all put our hands together, put our shoulders together, and join in the unity while reveling in our shared culture. The Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport has already laid out in his opening remarks all of the activities that would take place today. But I would really like to encourage the people of St. Martin that these celebrations are for us. Come out, because I know over the many years I have been, even as a teacher, hearing St. Martin has no culture. Over the past years, we have been seeing a wide array and display of our culture as one island, one people, and last year's celebration on the Friend side is continuing this year on the Dutch side, and we will continue to grow it. We're very happy to have our cultural parade back on track for this year, and I know many have already signed up and have their costumes ready. So do not miss out on this opportunity to celebrate our identity, our unity and creativity, because there will be music, there will be food, there will be dances, there will be everything, the games, especially for the younger ones who have never experienced them. Bring your children out, wear your national colors as well as your unity colors, and come out there. I know many creatives have created special shirts for this event as well. So those who don't have cultural wear, you know, the national dress in terms of t-shirts representing our flags is always a welcome sight on that day and in all of the days leading up. I would like to encourage persons also to fly your flags high. And our flag protocol requires that it is St. Martin Day we're celebrating. So you don't need to identify where you were born, if that is the case, on your car. That is only when you're celebrating that day that you have to put St. Martin's flag as well. So the St. Martin flag or the Unity flag are the flags that we should be seeing flying high on the cars, on your residences, businesses. Go all out, decorate, just like every other country does during this special time of the year. And especially since 10/10/23, we have been promoting that. So I would have hoped to see more colors displayed within our city, within our neighborhoods. And I hope to one day that we can reach to a competition to see which neighborhood would do a grander job of celebrating our cultural heritage on this day. So as Minister mentioned, we start from very early in the morning with the services. Don't forget the Round the Island relay race. This is another unity race where youth, adults, and clubs take part in this very competitive event. And of course, all of the other events that are celebrated on St. Martin Day, on pre-St. Martin Day, and throughout the weekend. Also, I'm asking you to be safe, to ensure that you look out for your fellow man as well. See you on St. Martin Day as we celebrate. Also, hats off to our Special Olympics team for their incredible performance at the Special Olympics Kingdom Games in 2023 in Bonaire. They returned this week and have come back with medals. Their hard work and determination, of course, their pure grit shone brightly and makes St. Martin proud. We are super proud of them, and I can attest to having spoken to quite a few of them while walking around in the streets of Soccer Garden last Monday. And especially Willamine, I want to shout her out. She is super excited and she's very happy to represent St. Martin wherever she goes. And one other leader of the young people or the people, special needs athletes, was like there needs to be more activities that highlight their abilities, because, you know, to focus on what they're not able to do, of course, is one thing, but focusing on what they are able to do. And I commend those foundations that do that, such as Enable. So congratulations on your exceptional achievements. Once again, you are true champions for St. Martin. I would like to commend the Ministry of Finance. The minister isn't here today. He had to go and attend a speaking event that's being held on health, but would have been here. And I'd like to congratulate him on the successful turnout for the Financial Literacy Month courses that he started. Him and his team, Minister Irian, are empowering citizens of St. Martin on essential money matters. And these courses are not just about numbers. They're about securing your future, taking steps to gain control of your finances. And to those who have not been able to participate, do not miss out. Get involved, learn, and equip yourselves with the tools to navigate the pursuit of financial knowledge. just as a country, we want to move towards being stronger on our feet financially. It also means that individuals, companies, etc., are also empowered, and I'm happy that we are offering you the opportunity to put knowledge in your head, because knowledge is power, and it definitely will mean then ensuring more money is in your wallet. So congratulations to the Ministry of Finance for leading the way. And he has already mentioned that he will be redoing some of the courses due to the great turnout. Some courses were planned for 20-something people and had up to 80 registrants. So definitely there will be a need to have follow-ups during the course of this month and continuing. Congrats to all of those reaching out. In terms of elections updates, I'd like to make this my closing remark for today. Government of St. Martin, in close collaboration with the Central Voting Bureau, wish to update the general public, but specifically also party representatives and deputy representatives about which last night they started hosting the critical briefing sessions designed to streamline the process leading up to and on postulation day. This is scheduled for November 22nd, as we all know. Yesterday's initial briefing on postulation day procedures was held at room 1 and 2 here at the government building. During this session, the clarifications of the requirements and the procedures for postulation day were shared. Members of the main voting bureau, the civil registry officials were available to provide comprehensive guidance and address any questions from the parties. As you know, we have a couple of new ones as well. There will be a public order briefing session next week, Monday, so that will explain all of the different rules and regulations as it relates to public order, which is mandated by ministerial decree of the Minister of Justice and is being finalized. This meeting will be on Monday, November 13th from 6 to 7 in the same conference room for the representatives of the parties. The sessions are pivotal to ensure a seamless execution of our democratic process, and we highly encourage the participation of all party representatives. Of course, we will follow up with an email to highlight the main decision points and that you would have it in writing as well. Your active participation will lead to a more productive series of discussions. I would also like to notify that taking into consideration that colors are assigned during this process to each candidate's list for the election, as Minister of General Affairs, I have to put out that decree. Last week we did put out one, but that one will be retracted to give more specifications, because though that allowed for all colors, whether they were primary, secondary, or tertiary, the main voting bureau felt that it may create confusion on that day. So we are going back to the list being designated and have added the color teal. So that regulation to retract and to, today's the deadline, so it will be finalized by today. So the colors will be red, yellow, blue, green, brown, cyan, black, white, purple, magenta, orange, gray, beige, teal, and gold. So this decision will enter into force today by the signing that I will do once I get out of this meeting and receive the final version, and it will be published in the National Gazette as well. So it just specifies the specific colors instead of keeping it broad, so that we can avoid that the main voting bureau is, not sure at that time what to do. I will leave my opening statements at that, Rolika, but should anything else pop in regarding elections or anything else, then I will ask back for the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister Jacobs, for your opening remarks. If you've just joined us, you are watching the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, November 8th, 2023. Thank you for joining us. We now move on to the question and answer session, and as Bibi Shah of SMN News is the only media present, I will allow her 4 questions. Bibi, you have the floor.
Thank you, Rolika. I will start with the Minister of Vromi, since he wasn't here for a while. And Minister, in your opening remarks, you spoke of all the roads that will be upgraded. One of the things I didn't hear you address, even though it was a public outcry, Minister, is why Saturday was used to block the roads and then to start repairs that have not been completed. I think also there was an announcement that Sunday the road would have been blocked and that the road work would continue. But according to the information that has come to me, that didn't happen. I'm just asking that for you to elaborate because I thought you missed it. But then my real question, Minister, is about all the, based on what I have noted or took note of, is that every public bidding tender process ends up in some sort of controversy. For example, trench cleaning, district cleaning, etc. Minister, what I'd like to know is that what is the status of the bidding of the heavy equipment persons that are operating on the landfill? What is the struggle to get this finalized and to also pay the contractors on time? And also, how long can government continue to pay these contractors without a national decree in place?
I'll try. Mic is on. I'll try to answer the questions based on the how you asked them. I think about 4 questions. The first one was regarding why Saturday was chosen. At the end of the day, baby, I think no good day is the best day to do it because regardless to what, it's going to cause inconvenience. What I do know for a fact is that a timely notification did go out 2 days prior, notifying that emergency works will take place. I received messages saying, okay, why you choose the first Saturday of the month? Why in the day? I think if we had done it the second Saturday, it would have been the same story. So point is the road needed to be repaired, and the traffic situation that was happening because of the road in being in such a deplorable state, a decision had to be made, and a decision was made. When we reached out to the contractor, they were already busy on 2 major projects. We had to plead with them to be able to change around a bit to make themselves available for the Saturday. Or if we didn't do that, it would have been 2 weeks from then. So again, would you have wanted it to continue for 2 weeks? I don't think so. I know that all these days there have been a lot of difficulty and inconvenience with the traffic, still up to today as well, because the road is mailed, so the cars have to go a bit slow and so forth. We are gonna be resurfacing it tomorrow evening. That's on plan once the weather permits. So there you go, progress. We're in the high season, going into the high season. No one could control the rain and or the weather. Every year around this time, this happens, but it was a bit excessive and it caused a lot of damage to our public infrastructure. And we're doing everything that we can as a ministry to mitigate the inconvenience and make the life smoother for the people, literally, when it comes to resurfacing the road. With respect to your question as to why there is always a controversy when it comes to public tender, I think more so, and I could just reflect on my tenure and go back a bit, I think because we have structured things better, it has caused a lot of controversy for how things used to be. And I could say it with my head up high. We have tried different methods to correct things. We had the whole situation with the garbage tender. We then introduced the method of using SOAB to assist us to evaluate and go through that process. That too was a discussion as to why you're using SOAB. So I guess now SOAB is not, according to some people, not a credible institution. To me, it is a credible institution because they have taught the team a lot. I read those reports myself and basically set the course to have things done in a proper, structured manner. Of course, what is good for some is not good for others, and structuring it could cause a bit of inconvenience or controversy for those that want to do things that are not correct. And I'm going to leave it at that point. We are doing our best to improve things. We started with a tender policy, which was basically a lead up to what it has to happen in terms of a procurement law that is a collaboration between finance and the Ministry of General Affairs with the Legal Affairs Department. So we did all kind of different things to be able to enhance the transparency and structure the transparency of those bidding. And I got more attacks for doing that than anything else. So, I mean, you for yourself as a well-informed citizen could draw your own conclusion as to why that was the case. Nevertheless, I believe, damn if you do, damn if you don't. I rather do, and then see the results and correct where we need to correct and improve on those points. You mentioned about the heavy equipment contracts. I'll have to, honestly, I've been so swamped with so much meetings with updates. I actually have a meeting scheduled this afternoon with infrastructure management to get a full detail on all the different payments and different things that are the bottlenecks that they have been challenged with. I had other meetings with other departments over the last couple of days, so I'm basically playing catch up, and I know for sure that they are doing their utmost. As you know, we have a shortage in human resources. We're busy finalizing at least 4 major critical functions that will be filled within the coming weeks. So these are steps that we are taking as a ministry, and I ask the public to, continue to give your cooperation where that is concerned. We've been having our challenges in the past with building permits. That is being worked out. That is improved as well. So we're getting there. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Duran.
Thank
Phoebe,
you.
your second question.
Thank you, Relika. Minister Richardson. Minister, I took note of your statements regarding the police holding cell and the controversy with the union and all those statements. I got the releases. But, Minister, to start off my question on this, I'd like to ask you 3 questions with this so we can get some clarity. Have you taken into consideration that there is also a shortage of police within CAPSM? Have you taken into consideration that we are right now in the high season, Minister, and also we are also approaching election? And then you have a number of police officers that have to deal with the traffic control with students and the traffic backup. To mitigate all of this, Minister, if you can, give some additional information to those points. What is the master plan and target date for the construction of the Point Blanche prison? Where are we with UNOPS? Minister, there were ankle bracelets that, what procedures were used to purchase them? And the policy that was implemented. And what exactly is the criteria for prisoners that will be selected for ankle bracelet? And the reason for this question is to create space.
Loaded, very, very loaded. Everything that you have indicated, Ms. Shaw, has been taken into consideration. One of the things that we must realize is that this is, as I stated before, standard. We are not adding anything that is unusual or an unusual task to the police force. You have officers on duty, and I have right here in front of me the steps that are involved when dealing with a police arrestee. Yes, we have engaged or experienced since that 2011 decision was taken, cases like the Corallo case. We have lawyers that are constantly writing in the public sphere, in the media, about the unjust situation that their client is being kept in Phillipsburg more than the 10 days. So there in itself, you see that clouded space where, and I took note that the same attorney who is usually indicating that it is unjust for her client has now written an article indicating that she's not in support of this. So the division in the task is a very clouded space. But the chain must work together. And if we do not have sufficient guards to be able to man the very people that are arrested, and when the police takes them to court on day 2, so that the judge can determine whether they will be released or have to stay for the extended 8 days, that is all within the 10 days that they are in police custody. They're not in detention of the prison. And that is where it becomes clouded. It is clearly identified what the role and responsibility is when a person is in police detention or police holding. And it speaks in alignment with your shifts. Yes, but I know for a fact that CAPASM is resilient. And I would also like to state, since taking office, I have graduated quite a number of police officers into CAPASM. When was the last time you saw me graduate a class at Harvey Bay? The prison is truly, if you were to measure or compare the ratio, they are down quite a bit in comparison to what CAPASM has resources to. And it is not balanced. Yes, I had a very wonderful meeting last evening with the correctional officers, where they really expressed their gratitude for this because they are not great in numbers, but they are dedicated. But it is really a dire situation, and the few that is going to come up now from being here at the police station that's coming to the prison in Point Blanche and will be shared with MLC makes a difference for them. Because though they are short in numbers, they are pulling through for the interests of the safety, the security, and the service of the clientele in these facilities. It cannot be that they are not recognized as being just as valuable as our police officers. And this is why in my statement, I asked for my police officers to take into consideration their colleagues' plight in asking to please work with them. This is how CAPASM can contribute to the shortage that is greater for the prison in comparison to them. And I am not minister alone. I am not the only one that is a part of this ministry. It's going to take us all collectively. So when you make mentions, if I am taking in account that, you know, St. Martin Day is here, the holidays are here, election is here, oaths were taken. We all took oaths to be able to serve this country in the capacity that we hold. So it is expected that despite everyone may not be in agreement with what needed to have been done, we will respect it and we will work together in unison. I hope I was able to cover the wide array of questions asked.
Minister UNOPS,
Oh, yes, UNOPS.
the prison construction,
Yes, I gave
Ankle
those
bracelet.
updates. And what, sorry?
the ankle brace.
Okay, these updates I've given quite much, but I'll start with the ankle bracelets because that's a good point. Capacity shortage. Recently, we had the publishing of the ankle bracelet policy. It is available to be able to, for the prosecution service to propose this in court, knowing our capacity challenges. UNOPS, being on the island now, having an office, they recently was successfully able to complete the bidding process to identify a company that will design the prison. They had a meeting with me 2 weeks ago. I do believe UNOPS will be putting out a publication about that to announce this company. I've even asked them to please give indication in their announcement how their process goes, because of course the procurement process for construction is still one on to come. So UNOPS is pretty much on their timeline. They always can show me we're here. This is how far, this is what is coming. We are going to be seeking a meeting with Parliament pretty soon for us to be able to give these sorts of updates, but we're on track. We are on track. And I've also asked that the prison look a little bit further within the facility as it is, if there's opportunity for us to improve some of the cells that are there, to expand their availability. Because all in all, the Miss Lally Center is currently not even being used for what it was intended for. So the arm of trying to have capacity has been stretched quite a bit, but the necessity of having proper manning for these facilities is just as important.
Thank you, Minister Richardson. Bibi, as we are short for time and you did ask multiple questions in one, I will
just
have
one
to.
more, just one follow-up with the Prime Minister.
Sorry, do you have to? PM will allow it. You can go
PM,
ahead.
in your announcement, I know yesterday you had the meetings with the political parties as we start to prepare for elections and postulation day. What I missed is that you did not give us the figures, the final figures from the voting bureau, not the voting bureau, civil registry. And if you can give me those figures as well as how many seats are we going for, 15 or 17, and what's our quota?
Yes, indeed. That was supposed to be in my press briefing notes, so my apologies. And I'm happy that you did ask for that. I did receive an update. The total number of registered voters for the upcoming elections is 22,553. 22,553, with the breakdown by gender being male 10,647, 10,647 males, and 11,906 females. 11,906 females. A further breakdown will be provided by Civil Registry to give more demographic information, including by districts, which will be shared as soon as we have that. The closure of the voter registry on October 23rd, 2023 gave us these numbers. This keeps us at the same amount. Actually, the total amount did not reach to 60, so it didn't go above. I don't have the total amount of residents because that determines, so it stays at 15, as well as thanking the citizens of St. Martin for their active enrollment, demonstrating their readiness to participate in the democratic process. We encourage all voters to stay informed about election developments as we continue preparations for Election Day, January 11, 2024. Further details regarding the polling station locations, the voting hours, the public order protocols will be communicated in subsequent releases. And in also, if necessary, we may determine next week to have a press conference. The Ministry of General Affairs, the Minister of Justice, as well as the Central Voting Bureau appreciate community's involvement in shaping the future of St. Martin, and we look forward to a free, safe, and clear election on January 11, 2024. Thank you for those questions, and I do look forward, as I said before, to seeing all out on St. Martin Day. I mentioned that I had one or two things I may have forgotten, Relaika, and one is that we are busy with the steering committee meetings. When I heard the questions towards Minister Samuel, tomorrow the Council of Ministers that have projects are involved in a steering committee meeting with the relevant trust fund, World Bank, and NRPB representatives to ensure the furtherance of these projects that are government's projects that the NRPB is executing on our behalf. We do understand that certain checks and balances, especially as it relates to environmental safeguards, has delayed several projects, but we also as government have to ensure that we are pushing from our end and providing the necessary information. So with that being said, Relaika, I thank you for the extra time. And the Brown Pelican Awards, oh yes, is on Sunday. Yes, usually in the St. Martin Day weekend, we have a lot of activities. So St. Martin Day is on Saturday. We'll be celebrating. And on Sunday, the Brown Pelican Awards will take place. So go to our government's Facebook page. Look out for those blasts of information as we continue to update you. Have a safe and happy St. Martin Day weekend.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Minister Richardson.
If I just may, I'd like to echo that, please. Yes, I'd like to be able to wish St. Martin as well a happy St. Martin Day. And I really wish that everybody indeed could follow what Minister Samuel indicated earlier and the Prime Minister. We want to see you showing that patriotism to St. Martin. This is our home. We love her, and we would like to be able to shine bright by showing our unity flag, our St. Martin flag, coming out to the various events that a lot of time and effort has been put into to be able to celebrate. Thank you to all the teams and committees that were responsible for putting this together. Congratulations to us, the Culture Department, also to the police force, because I look forward to them being out there and providing that safety and security in unity for St. Martin. Yes? Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Richardson. Thank you, Prime Minister Jacobs. And thank you, Bibi, for your questions. Any further questions can be sent to the Minister's Cabinet in writing. Honorable Ministers of the Council, members of the media, radio listeners, and online viewers, this brings us to the end of the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, November 8th, 2023. For rebroadcast, tune into stmartingov.org, St. Martin Gov Radio via 107.9 FM, Telemstel TV Plus Channel 15, the official Facebook page of the Government of St. Martin, and YouTube channel Government of St. Martin. For video on demand, log on to the Government of St. Martin's YouTube channel. On behalf of the Department of Communication and the Government of St. Martin, I'm Rolika Roach and wishing you a pleasant day further and a happy St. Martin's Day in advance.